The Velvet Room. London, 1890. In the heart of the East End, behind rusted iron gates and ivy-choked walls, stood a private club known only to a chosen few, the Velvet Room. It had no sign, no listing, and no invitation, only a red wax seal posted discreetly to those deemed worthy. It was a place whispered about in gentlemen's clubs and opium dens alike. A salon of the forbidden. A sanctuary for those who had exhausted every earthly pleasure and sought something deeper, darker. When Jonathan Everly, a promising but disillusioned solicitor, received the seal, he was drawn in by curiosity, and by despair. He had recently lost his wife to illness, and in the echoing silence of his home, he longed for distraction, or destruction. He entered the Velvet Room on a night thick with fog and never saw the world the same way again. The first night, the doorman was silent. He merely held out his gloved hand for the seal and let Jonathan pass into a grand foyer of crimson curtains, black velvet, and dim amber light. Inside, men and women lounged in elaborate masks. No one spoke names. No one asked questions. In the center of the room stood a grand stage draped in blood-red fabric. The hostess appeared as if from smoke, tall, silver-haired, with eyes like burning coals. She was known only as Madame Rosetta. "Tonight," she purred, "you shall see beyond." The curtains parted. On the stage was a mirror. A simple thing, oval, gold-rimmed, fogged by age. But when Jonathan looked into it, he did not see himself. Reflections. In the mirror he saw his late wife Margaret. Pale, serene, whispering to him with lips that did not move. "You left me." Jonathan recoiled. Madame Rosetta's smile widened. "Do you see?" she said. "It shows not what is but what you've hidden. What guilt brings to the surface." He returned the next night. And the next. Each time the mirror showed more. Margaret walking the halls of their old home, eyes vacant, hands outstretched. Her voice grew clearer. "Bring me back." Jonathan pleaded with Madame Rosetta. "Can I reach her?" Her answer, "The mirror takes as well as shows. But beware, once inside there may be no return." The mirror's edge. Jonathan became obsessed. He spent his days scouring texts on necromancy and mirror magic, his nights in the Velvet Room, watching Margaret grow stronger in her reflected prison. He begged Madame Rosetta to open the path. "You may enter," she said. "But you must give something first." "What?" She touched his chest. "Your breath. Your blood. Your name." That night, Jonathan stepped through the mirror. He expected cold. Instead he felt warmth. Comfort. A replica of his home greeted him, gleaming and perfect, untouched by time. Margaret stood by the fireplace smiling. But her smile never reached her eyes. The room beyond. Days passed. Or hours. Or years. Time did not move the same way within the mirror. Margaret spoke little. She asked questions. "Why did you remarry? Why did you cremate me? Why did you forget?" Jonathan denied it all. He had done none of it. But with each denial, the world around him cracked, walls splitting, lights dimming. And Margaret's face began to change. It grew gaunt. Her skin darkened. Her hair turned to ash. "You left me to rot," she snarled. "You buried me in lies." Jonathan turned to flee, but the door was gone. The mirror had vanished. The price. In the waking world, the Velvet Room's guests watched as Madame Rosetta unveiled the mirror again. But this time, Jonathan Everly's reflection was missing. The mirror's surface rippled, and a pale hand pressed against the glass from within. A mouth formed. Silent. Screaming. Madame Rosetta bowed. "Another soul for the collection." She turned to the next guest. "Would you like to see?" Epilogue. The Velvet Room still operates, its guests ever-changing, its rules unspoken. The mirror remains at the center of the stage. Some say if you look closely, you can still see Jonathan Everly pounding on the other side, trapped forever with his guilt. But others say the mirror lies. That what you see is not what you regret, but what you are destined to become.